And the real truth about this is that everybody's starting to figure this out.
Right.
Everybody's starting to figure this out. So why do you think they lifted the debt ceiling for the next 2 years?
Even in conversation.
Biggs and Boggs.
You got lazy?
Yeah.
Just don't forget to DCA.
Don't forget to DCA.
Oh, hey guys, and welcome back to your feature handle, Biggs and Boggs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
And we got Spencer on sound screens.
Spencer.
Thanks for joining us today, folks. We like to come at you once a week or so and share our journey through this transitioning world of finance and talk about some things that we believe will benefit your future hand. So, we believe we're here to help you. So why don't you help us by smashing that like button? Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing, because this is time-sensitive information, folks. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think and where you're from, and let's get right into it. What are we up to today, and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian.
Thanks, Marty. Good to be back. We haven't seen you guys in a while. Things are slow in the market, so it's not like we've been avoiding you, but it's busy. It's summertime. We've been enjoying time with our families, and the sunshine has been great over here. And the market is still kind of doing the same thing. So what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about the debt ceiling a little bit. What is going on in the United States? What is the real truth about the debt ceiling? We'll give you a little view of the market scope. We're not really going to slide it in because, as we said, things are still kind of the same. But yeah, let's just get right into the conversation then. What is going on? So, really what we want to talk about today is the debt ceiling and what the next 2 years could potentially look like in the United States. But as far as BTC goes in the market right now, as we've said for the last couple of months, it's going to slow down. Nothing's really changing. We've been bouncing between $26,000 and $28,400.
So I think it's going to make you want to lose interest. But if you look at it over the long period of time, I still do believe that it will gradually incline. So we'll be like 20. We've been hovering at 27, in between 26 and 30 for 2-3 months now, and it'll probably be around 27 for a while, and you're going to lose interest, and then it's up to like 28. Well, now it's hovering around 28 for a while,
just like the end of the year, right? Like all 2022, they
exactly.
pounded on it all of 2022,
and then eventually it's going to make a big leg up here, and there's
100%
just before the halving, right?
First quarter of the year we did 100%, right?
Yeah. So and just before the halving, which is coming up less than a year from now, there's a mathematical good chance that we'll be around $50,000 per Bitcoin at the halving. Yeah. If you look at all the past halvings, the dates they're on, you take the math and the percentage, and you just move it from one halving to the next, that's where it puts us.
Yeah. So
and the real truth about this is that everybody's starting to figure this out.
Right.
Everybody's starting to figure this out. So why do you think they lifted the debt ceiling for the next 2 years?
Even in conversation, not even people that are into crypto or Bitcoin, but just talking to people about finance and the economy and just kind of where people are sitting mentally with what's going on, and everyone kind of has this. Like the de-dollarization thing became a thing on the internet, and it got around. So now it's like when you talk to people, they're like, "Oh, U.S. dollar's done, it's done."
Yeah, I went to a barbecue last night and I was talking to my buddy's mom, and she's like, "Oh, the debt ceiling." She brought it up, and I was like, "Don't even get me started." Right? Like, let's go.
Right. But the thing that for me, it's like. They're not just going to roll over that easy. So you can't just say the U.S. is done.
No.
So, and they're like, oh, well, somebody, gold this, gold that. It's like, okay, well, they still have the largest supply of gold too.
Have you been watching gold?
Well, I don't.
It hit 2K the other day again and just got hammered down. Every single time it's hit 2K, just massive sell-offs.
And that's what I mean. They control the gold market. So if you want to continue to make them rich, sure, go and put your money in gold, because that's going to continue to put them on their mega yachts.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that
like
shit,
they need a buyer when they want to sell.
That's part of the scam, and we don't know how much they have. The last time they bought, who just bought?
That's what I hate about it.
13 tons of gold.
You're not allowed to see the volume on gold.
And then
clear red flag.
The CCP bought 13 tons of gold, and it was full of zinc.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like
it's pretty sketchy, man.
Gold is sketchy.
That's rough.
I might keep
zinc
a little
and titanium.
Bit. If I had a bar of gold, it might make a good weapon if somebody came in my house.
That's about it, though. I don't know.
And sure, it holds its value. And if you have a bunch of
if the internet goes down, I guess maybe that's the next thing. But I don't know. Personally, I would rather vegetables or something else, like bartering straight goods for services instead of gold. I wouldn't. Well, if we're not going to be able to if we're not going to move forward with technology, we're going to go way back before currency.
We will, though. To think that we're going to.
Of course we will. Of course we will. It's hands down we're going to go. That's why. This is why they're removing the debt ceiling for the next 2 years. So what's happened is they normally raise the debt ceiling. It's happened 70 plus times since the beginning, and they usually give a number. So they say this is the debt ceiling here, and this is going to be our next debt ceiling, 36 trillion or whatever it's going to be. They'll give a number. It doesn't have a matter of time. It's just when we get there. So this time there was no there was no number. It was just the next 2 years. So basically, it's uncapped for the next 2 years.
Right.
Like how does that not scare you for? How does that not get set up for hyperinflation?
I think we're quite a ways away. Like 10% was a high for us.
It's knocking on the door.
Well,
If
80, 70, like above 60, 70.
But the thing is like you
hyperinflation.
see 18, you see 20, and
Yeah.
then in a matter of weeks it jumps and leaps and bounds to the.
With the U.S. being the power of economy, though, what that steers our basically our entire economy right now, I can't see it reaching hyperinflation in the most powerful spot of the world before there's a change. In currency or monetary policy. Right? So
they're going to try and maintain power in some way, and they're going to have to transition.
So they lift the debt ceiling. This allows them to continue printing money for the next couple of years.
Buy as much Bitcoin as they possibly can.
Continue to stuff the bag full of Bitcoin. We should have had that list of countries. Maybe we can pop that list of countries. You can see the amount of Bitcoin in the thousands of Bitcoin that countries are now starting to accumulate.
Yeah.
So, and I mentioned this before, like a year ago, said it is going to become a race to who can accumulate the most Bitcoin because whether you want to believe it or not, or you're skeptical or the cognitive dissonance that may hold you back or whatever, Bitcoin is true scarcity, right? And true scarcity is what creates value.
Exactly.
And the greedy people are the greedy people. It doesn't matter what it is. They're going to freaking soak it up, right?
100%. So, on a side note, too, just so you're aware of the supply and demand, just the basic principles of it. Think about Mother's Day. Mother's Day happens about the middle of May when there is more flowers in bloom than you would ever imagine. They need to figure out something to do with the supply. They need to create demand. Let's make Mother's Day. And like that's how. Never thought about that?
I don't.
I just know because you look at my yard on Mother's Day and it's insane. And I'm like, obviously,
I think all that stuff is about money. So
of course it is.
I've never been a Hallmark guy. Anyway.
Of course it is.
But like, just like
that. Literally, the most flourishing flower day of the year is Mother's Day. There's a reason for it. It's not just random.
It's also also my.
That's how it all works, guys. That's just
my mother's birthday also fell on Mother's Day too.
Well, you know what? I celebrate on Mother's Day every single day. I love my mother, and I tell her that as much as I possibly can.
He has a photo of his mom in his wallet.
Yes, I don't have the mom tattoo, unfortunately.
Wow. They can't see it, but no.
But anyways, like that's just an example of how things work, okay? Whether you want to be, however you want to take it is up to you. How it actually works is how it actually works. It is what it is. Supply and demand is how the world works. Bitcoin is true scarcity because it only has so much supply. So we're going to see the demand.
It's not only true scarcity and that real source of value or store value. Like, it's the only thing with complete 100% honesty between the buyer and the seller. You know what I mean? Like it is just it's
nobody to get involved.
There's
mess
no
it up.
issue.
Nobody to add a tax. Nobody to add. I mean, there's a network fee, but that's how it works, right? We have the miners doing their job, and that's what keeps it going, right? Because you need that to work out.
And it's also Bitcoin's also the reason that we're now starting to see and become so aware of what's going on in finance and how they've been using the monetary policy to control us now for this long. And basically since they controlled the Fed. And if you look back, it's kind of around the same time that you had to become a registered citizen. So to get a birth certificate, you had to become a registered citizen under this new financial system in order to work in the system. So if you wanted to make money and provide for your family, you had to have this registration so you could work into the system and pay taxes. Right.
Of
so
course.
it's finance has been the ruse, and it's been the ruse for forever.
So their next goal is going to be getting everybody on the blockchain. You will be an NFT. You will that's how you will provide your worth to society is doing what you got to do, right? That's what they're trying to do, but we don't have to do that. It's already happening in China. That's why we know stuff like this is going to happen because it always happens somewhere else first. In the West, we actually are a very old or new country, so we're not that. Like it's just it happens everywhere else first, and now we get to see it firsthand. And so it shocks me that people are surprised when stuff happens, and you're like, it already happened over here 20 years ago. Why are you surprised about this?
And you can trace it back through everything. Like it's always there's going to be people who invest in the future, and then there's going to be the people who are the profit of the future, the product of the future.
Exactly.
Right. So you can invest in the future, be the product. That's
everybody's going to have to own Bitcoin, like we said before. Maybe they're going to try and push for a CBDC, obviously, being issued I believe within months from now, they're bringing this system in for trial use. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But you really don't need to use it. You can just use Bitcoin if you have.
You have to opt out and buy Bitcoin.
Yes, if you have the sense to just be self-sustainable any little bit at all, you have to
sats.
look into
sats.
Bitcoin, right? You have to look into this.
Grow some sats, bud.
Yeah, grow some sats. Yeah, trash the ash, grow some sats.
Yeah. Grow a sat.
But I don't know, man. I think it just to me, this just screams. Obviously, we saw in the beginning, we saw the bull run battle between nerds, and then there was a few people that got sort of into it, and a couple businesses, and it's just starting to grow and grow and grow. And now we literally have seen a country lift their debt ceiling, which is kind of weird in the first place because only the United States and Denmark are the
I wish
only.
they would have printed that $1 trillion coin.
They did. Well, I've seen pictures of it. I don't know. I haven't,
Yeah, but they
haven't
didn't
seen
actually
it.
mint it. Like it didn't actually.
But this is just the next level. This halving is going to be like a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be dead. Oh yeah, 69K was a top forever. But it's like, are you actually?
It's impossible.
Are you kidding me? Like
it's impossible.
What's happening right now is like we are gearing up for maybe a super cycle, like some people have said.
How many people have told you? Oh, I'll probably just wait for 40K.
It's nuts. And well, the thing is we might go from 40K to 80K real quick.
I think we could actually.
Real quick.
I think we have a chance at 40K this year. That's one thing I was going to say earlier in the market scope. Like we're going to have this slow season, like I said a couple of months ago. Like I just been chilling out and it's fine, accumulating, still doing my DCA and whatever. But October, November, December, there is a chance for a run to 37K, 35 to 40K. Right?
Yeah.
So
and easily we're ranging between 26 and 30. We're gonna continue to do that for a little while. It's gonna probably pop and go up and then start ranging in between 30 and 35.
A couple of months ago, the more you can get sub 20K is fantastic. And now it's like shit.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to get as much as we can sub 30K, right?
Yeah. I mean, so
like, well, what if it drops to 15K?
One other thing that I can possibly see happening is a major shakeout, just like happened in March 2020. Or you see something just absolutely drop off the cliff, but it literally lasts less than a few days. So, I mean,
people didn't even think it was going to go back to 25K. I said it's going back to 25K. As soon as it hit 31K, I was like, we're going to see 25K.
Yeah, we were saying that the whole time.
It only
25.8,
but still.
25.876, and that's we're in the 25K range, and maybe we do. Like I have one more line here from this move, and we could easily come back down to 25.2. Look at that right there.
Yeah.
25.2 over the next month. So that could be a very possible thing. I would actually like to see that. That'd be a bit more of a healthier move than just going sideways and straight up. And I mean, we are forming a bit of a pennant here, a bit of a bull flag or whatever on the weekly, if that's what you want to call it. And it's most likely going to break out. It's tried a few times. It's getting pinched. It's getting down to the apex of where it's going to have to make a decision, go one way or the other. Yeah. And if it does go down, whatever, it's going to liquidate a bunch of longs, but then it's going to hop right back out because we can see the volume and the demand down in the 25 area.
Once all the big cats get back from their lake homes and their yachts and shit,
they'll
fire it up to 40K and then dump it down to 20 on you. And we'll start all over.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing, right? It's going to happen so fast.
You DCA. If you DCA, you can't lose in Bitcoin.
No.
If you're always buying, you can't lose. Okay. So if you're always buying, you can always be selling if you need the money. But if you wait too far in between, you're never going to be ahead.
Yeah.
Especially if you buy when it gets exciting, you're gonna buy the top.
That's actually a good point too. I was thinking about earlier today is not DCAing as much at a time, but DCAing more often.
No, as
a good time
as possible.
Yeah, it's a good time to go down to maybe once a day or once every couple days, but with a smaller amounts.
This is why I always say too, because of what you lose in network fees. So find out what exchange that you can use in your area that is the cheapest for fees, and put on. Say it's $1,000 that you can get onto the exchange, right? Don't buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin at a time. Put that into USDT, a trusted stable coin.
$25 a day.
And then do $25 a day or even $10 a day if that's your budget, if you want to spread it out even more. And you won't, it'll be hard for you to be in a loss unless something really dramatic happens. But like I said, even if you bought all 2022 in all that red, you'd be in profits right now if you DCA'd every day or every month even, right? So buying way more often is the way. So
it's the statistics. That's all we care about.
If you're always buying, you can always sell.
Yeah.
But if you put that $1,000 in today and it drops down to 20K and you happen to need $500, you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm down 20, 30% on this or whatever the case may be, right? So the more often you buy, the safer it is for you.
Yeah, and it goes with traditional finance as well. That's what the rich people have been doing. That's how millionaires are made. If
DCA in, DCA out.
You talk to any millionaire and ask them how they got there, a lot of the times I think it'll be like even 7 or 8 out of 10. They came from working class families and they just lived beneath their means and invested the rest and just maintained that off every check, every paycheck, every month, every whatever.
You retire
exactly right.
Really
Then it's all about. It doesn't really matter what you put it in. Like look around and see what you see what people are consuming, see what people use, what people need, and go long on corn.
Long on corn, always.
Yeah,
you can buy corn too. It's a great commodity.
Yeah, but the thing is that you can buy the stock and stuff. So I try to tell this to people all the time. Like, what do you consume? Okay, you consume some shampoo all the time. You spend $15 a month on shampoo, or say. Okay, well, do you think you could afford like an 8 bottle a dollar shampoo or whatever, and then you take the difference and you invest it in the stock of the company or something like that, right? Or even
you could split it and water it down.
Exactly. There you go. Water it down. Buy the same bottle and then make it last longer and put the difference into the actual stock of the company over time, because you're consuming it. The only way to get paid back and literally not just flush your money down the drain is to own that stock and have it
or shave your head.
Yeah, or just shave your head, right? But this is just an example of don't just consume the product. Put some of that money into the stock of the company.
I love that study they did too, and especially with students. So I mean, obviously it's in the U.S. because a lot of these statistics that's where they come from. But like how much money, like people with no money, like going through people with no money and seeing their bank statements and their credit card statements, and it's like Starbucks stops and and all this stuff. They get the food.
They live paycheck to paycheck. So buy it because
so the interviews, like you're saying you can't afford this, but if we look, you know what I mean? It's like
stop buying all that crap.
And that's literally the money that could change your life in Bitcoin. Those $5 purchases. So it's like every time you want to go through Starbucks and spend $10, buy $10 worth of Bitcoin.
You know what's funny? I think in 1999, if you had put $3 a day into Starbucks stock, you'd be very well off, multi-millions at $3 a day, like the price of a coffee back then. Because Starbucks went from a very small company to a worldwide phenomenon, and that's how you get rich.
I was trolling them the other day. I actually went to Starbucks and fed the giant the other day. But,
yikes.
But I was trolling them and hacking them for not having maple. I was like, "This is Canada." I was like, "What do you mean you don't have any maple syrup?"
Giving them a hard time.
I'm 16, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess what, folks? You got to keep your eyes on the charts. I know that it's summertime. You want to be chasing them up around the pool and stuff like that, but you got to be making sure that you're paying attention just a little bit, because no limitations. This is what's happening right now with this debt ceiling. There is no limitations to what could possibly happen in the next 12 to 18 months. So let's get it. Keep coming back to Your Future Hand. We're going to try and come a little bit more often. It is hard for us to
enjoy the weather. We did say it was going to be slow season. So
help us out. Drop a comment below. Let us know where you're from and what you're thinking, and we'll catch you on the next one.
If you want to see me more often, or Marty more often, Okay.
Check out our OnlyFans. Peace.
It's only hands.
Pigs and bogs out. Oh. That's funny. I've never actually used that site before.
Why would you?
I've never even seen it.
Who the hell is going to do
I don't know. They're talking a lot about it lately, and I'm like, what is this?